More sources. You need more. Not because you're going to use all of them, but because you want to expand what you're seeing. Because if you're only looking in one way, you see the pretty horses, you think you're outside of the country, and there's the airport, right? This is actually Ireland. Where you're looking matters, so I want you to expand your search, and I'm going to show you how. First place I want you to start is, not here, we'll get to that one, is Century College. So we go to the library and want to go to the database. The first one, Academic Search Premier, is one of the big ones that covers everything. You might want to, if you're doing art or psychology, you could actually get even more focused. But this is a good one, over 8,000 journals, so I think you're going to be covered. You take your topic. Say, for example, we're just going to go with hope on this series. Now, actually, if you saw that there was a lot of different angles on hope, which might be worthwhile. So maybe it's not just hope, but hopelessness, or you name it. The thing to remember when you're doing a search here is there are a lot of things that you can expand or contract. So 158,000 is too much. First thing I'm going to do is go to full text. What this means is everything I find I can actually look at today. Now, if I had a month to do this project, I wouldn't limit it like that because I'd want to find the best articles and request them. And sometimes you can get them incredibly fast. But since this is something more of a short-term 1 to 2 week thing, I'm going to go full text. It makes my life simpler, right? 71,000 still too huge. Now, I could do a couple things like add hope and survival. Ooh, hope and survival rates. This is nice about that filling up. Now what do I get? Now I'm down to 80. And of course, plenty of these are going to have nothing to do with what I'm looking for. And I just have to check, maybe add another word. But I want to go back for a second and show you something else that's pretty neat. So here's the 70,000. I like full text so I can see it right then and there. Right here, we can click. You know what? Do I really want reviews? Probably not. Right? So actually, I can already, what if I just want academic journals? Now I'm down to 18,000, right? But I want to show you something that shows all results. Depending on what you're doing, time might matter. So here's the publication date. So if I was doing something psychological for my psych class, most likely I need stuff that's going to be pretty current. Right? So I'm not going to want something from 100 years ago. I might want the last 14 years of research. So I could do it that way. I'm hitting the search button. Last time it didn't make me do that, but come on, you can do this. There we go. Why did it do that? I don't know. I just dealt with it, right? Sometimes you have to do things twice. Why does it make sense? So now you can see 2006 to 2019, right? Now you can also type it in and check this out, 1940. Since we're talking about something in World War II, what if I wanted to see just what was going on during the war? Maybe this is interesting, maybe not. I will only know if I play around. So check out this. Congress is the hope of America today. Wow, have times changed, right? And I'm looking at this. Wait a second. There's the PDF. Vital speeches of the day. So now, here's this speech, right? It's the 13th annual meeting of the New Jersey Taxpayers Association in 44. Economy and government. Now think about this. We've got hope tied to taxes in Congress. Well, of course, there's a war going on. So this is something that could be interesting to read and see how hope comes up. And what I did is I played around with time. So when it comes to, I'm going to go back to full. Okay. You can put in your term. As you start typing, there might be hope or hopefulness or meaning of hope. Maybe that's what I want to be looking at. So you can play around in here, right? Also, like last time, ask a librarian if you want to be more specific, or send me, as long as you got some time to, you don't need it immediately, right? Send me a question. I might give you some suggestions. Hope in times of terrorism. Another thing to remember is when you click in here, you go read the summary or the abstract, but then also all passive emotions, action emotions, what's going on here? So this might be something, you know, hope in action, right? Or passive hope. You can play around and use those terms. One of the sources I want you to have is from this database, right? It might be a journal. I'd actually take a newspaper article, but I want you to use the database. Now, there are other things you can do. I say YouTube videos because it's 2019, and it's funny. When I just put in hope, I get a bunch of songs, which I could use. You could absolutely, if we are thinking about how hope is presented in popular culture, why wouldn't you grab a song, right? But you'd have to look at the lyrics and see if it's something worth writing about. So songs are good, but I also know there's tons of, you know, how-tos, lectures, documentaries, etc. So I'm going to change this to how hope works. And now I'm going to get different people talking about hope works, right? And I can play around with this, right? Negative aspects of hope, positive hope, you name it, but play around. And so I want you to see what's out there. And I might end up going in watching 5 minutes of a bunch of different videos until I find one that I like and watch the whole thing. So when I say use YouTube, that's what I'm talking about, right? Go in here, type your topic. You may have to play around with the search term just like you do at the library. Now, Google is awesome. Poems about hope. Boom. So here's gonna like 40 poems about hope. Here's the kind of like poemhunter.com says go here. So you can Google poems about hope to see what's out there. I also said think about TVs. So what about this? Google TV shows about hope, right? Raising hope, saving hope. We can look into here. Maybe in one of these, hope is a hospital, but what does that represent? So you can look in here and see what's going on. You could even put in characters named Hope, right? And then you can look at them and see what they're, oh look, Hope and Gloria, right? Chicago Hope, Hope and Faith, Raising Hope, Saving Hope. So you can see hope is a concept that is showing up a lot on TV. You could go in here and start playing around. The other thing you can do is movies about hope. Right? So there's 13 movies to give you hope during dark times. And open that up. See what's in there. Right? You maybe you even saw this movie and hadn't even made that connection. Right? So you can go through, see some stuff that's out there. And one of these can be a potential source for you. Right? And what you might want to do, right? Look at this. So here, Shawshank Redemption, if you haven't seen it, is involved hope in prison. Right? Which you'll see some of these are going to be a little bit different and might fit the stories that we've read better than others. But just go ahead and look. So I don't know if this one's going to fit as well as Shawshank Redemption, right? That's how you can use Google. Shows, TV shows about hope. All of those get you nice lists, and then you have to go in and watch 5 minutes, read summaries, see around this. So when I say do research, right, or when you're doing research, it's not quick. It's typically really interesting. And right, you can go down the rabbit hole of YouTube and be watching all kinds of stuff, and it will keep feeding because of the way it's set up, similar ideas. So once you've watched 2 or 3 things on hope or whatever your topic is, well, not even that many, it's going to give you, here's a bunch of others that people liked it about the same topic. So the assignment is I want to expand your search. You started with books, and I like them because they take longer typically to put together than anything that's in a magazine or a newspaper article. And you have the index and the table of contents. So you've got those 3 books that you can start picking from. Now I want you to go out and find an article, right? Find a TV show, something modern or current. Find something YouTube-y that's talking about your topic, whatever it is. I just used hope as an example. You take that idea that you've already decided to talk about and start putting it in those searches, and just know you may have to play around. So I hope this helps you broaden where you're looking. Definitely start with the academic stuff in the Century Library, because then you can use some of those search terms like active emotions and hope. That might help you later on when you're doing a search in Google or YouTube, right? That's it for the 3 new sources. So ultimately, you will have 6 by the end of the week, and I don't expect you to use all 6, but I want you to have a wider base that you can be picking from.